Welcome to Logos College Online Learning. This is Achan Toto. Today, I want to continue on your career guidance. Is Unit 4, and there's successful interviews. In previous lesson, we talked about preparing for the interview, things you can do to make a positive first impression, your homework had things about body language. You want to stay positive, maintain eye contact, smile, and you want to show confidence, right? And then we also talked about small talk, things you can do when you go into the office of the receptionist, or when you go to the business, you go to the company, and the first time that somebody sees you, you want to make a good first impression, right? And the receptionist is one of the first people that you see, and you have small talk. And what small talk does, it eases your nerves and your stress, and it shows personality and allows you to be more comfortable for your interview. And also helps you build a positive rapport, which means a positive connection with the person interviewing you or the person at the front desk of the company. All right, today I want to talk about interview questions. There's some questions that are asked quite often. There are some easy questions and there are some hard questions. We're going to talk about questions in the upcoming videos. I'm going to talk about not just questions, but also common mistakes that you can avoid when answering these questions. So hopefully, after watching some of these videos, you'll be able to deal effectively with interview questions. Right? Look at this red box right here. It says responding to questions at an interview is your opportunity to give evidence of your skills and experience. Prove you know what the job entails and demonstrate that you are the best person for the job. All right. So these interview questions, these are things you can also practice at home ahead of time, right? There's many questions. Look at number one. What questions might you expect to be asked in any job interview? Okay, I've gone to a few job interviews. I will tell you that they will ask you this 100%. They'll ask, please tell me about yourself. Or they'll say, tell me a little bit about yourself. They'll ask you things like, what are your strengths? All right? What are you good at? What are your weaknesses? What are you not so good at? And how can you improve that? All right? What do people how do people see you? What do people think you are like? What is your personality? Right? So all these questions, these style questions those are the questions that are tough to answer, and the more that you practice, the better you'll get at answering those questions. All right. Okay. Look at this next slide. It says 10 common interview questions, and look at number one. Can you tell me about yourself? Number two, what interests you about this job opening? Right? Why do you want this job? Is it because of money? Because it's something you're interested in doing? Right? Um, what do you know about our company? Remember, it's important to do research about the company. Why are you no longer with your last job? Right? They'll also ask you that. Maybe you quit or you got fired or something bad happened. They want to know everything about you. Right? Why should we hire you for this job? What skills do you have? What experience do you have? How can you help the company? How can you benefit their company? All right? That's just what they want to know. What is your greatest strengths, weaknesses? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? All right, so question number 8, they ask you this because they want to know if you're someone that has planned ahead. Do you have goals? Have you set goals for your life? All right? They want to know that. It's very important because if you're able to plan ahead, you can see the bigger picture, right? You're not just thinking about today or tomorrow. Right? You're thinking about the broad picture. You're thinking about how in 5 years how you can help the company grow and how you can help yourself grow, improve as a person. Okay. Um, we're going to talk about how to answer the 10 most common job interview questions. Okay. Like I said earlier, some are easy, some are hard, but the more you practice, the better you get. Okay. Uh, this exercise here, it says there's three types of questions that you'll be asked at most job interviews. And the first type of question is question A. It says questions that require you to talk about yourself, your ambitions, your personality, your hobbies, your interests. Right? So this stuff is about what you do in your free time. All right. What are your characteristics? Your ambitions are your goals. What do you want to achieve in your life? What do you want to achieve in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years? Right? The next style question I'll ask you are questions that require you to prove you have researched the job and company you have applied to work for. All right. So these style questions will ask you about the position that you are applying for. They want to know is like, did you research the company? Did you research the exact job? Do you have the skills needed for that job? Right? Do you know what it takes to do this job? And the last style questions they'll ask you, they want you to demonstrate you have the skills and experience required for the job. Right? Do you have the knowledge? All right, look at number one. So they want you to, these questions right here, and they want you to answer what style question, A, B, or C. Right? Number one, can you tell us something about yourself? Okay, so if you're talking about yourself, that's a question A, all right? Questions that require you to talk about yourself. All right, look at number two. What experience do you have that is relevant for this position? Okay, so this question is about experience. This is a type C question, right? So this is style C. Questions that require you to demonstrate you have the skills and experience required for the job. Number three, what did you learn during your time at university? Okay, so this is about your education. And your education is skills and experience. That's C also. Next one, what do you see as your strengths? All right, that's about personality. All right, that's about yourself. So that's question A. Number five. What do you think about our website? Okay, so this is a question where they want to know, have you done the research? Have you looked at the company's website? And that's question style B. Number six, what attracted you to the position? All right, so this one, they want to know if you've done the research on the type of job that was advertised. So this is style B. You have to done research the job and the company. Number seven, how would your colleagues describe you? Okay, so this is about your personality. How do your friends see you? Your colleagues, your coworkers, how would they describe you? Hardworking, punctual, reliable? Right. Number eight, what sorts of projects did you work on at your last position? That's C. It talks about your experience. Number nine, what university did you attend and why did you choose it? All right, that's A. You're talking about yourself, your education. Right. Number 10, how do you typically approach new projects? So this one's good question right here, because this one, it talks about your personality, right, and your experience and your skills, right? So if you have a new project coming up, and what are the steps that you take? What are the first things that you do when you have a new project? All right. Number 11, how do you know about our company? That's question style B. And then 12, where do you see yourself in 5 years? All right, that's question style A. All right. So like I said, some questions are easier than others. Some are difficult. For myself, for me, the easy ones would be like question number 3. What did you learn during your time at university? That's pretty straightforward. You know, you talk about what classes you took. What did you learn? Number 5, what do you think about our website? That one would be easy for me. You definitely want to say something positive about the company that you want to work for. Hard ones for me would be how would your colleagues describe you? Because I don't like to talk about myself, so that would be tough for me. Um, what do you know? I'm sorry. How do you typically approach new projects? This one would be tough for me also because then you would have to talk about I would have to talk about myself, and also it's a very detailed question. Right? So those are the questions that would be easy for me and hard for me. And for you it could be different. And everyone is different. So some questions are easier than others. But the most important thing is you have to practice answering these questions. Okay, next. I know that the audio is in British English, and a lot of students have said that it was kind of difficult to understand. So I'm gonna play the audio for you through the video, and then we'll go through it with each other, and I'll explain some of the things they say, because I know they speak pretty fast. All right. So part E, we're gonna listen to 3 extracts from an interview. All right. There's gonna be an extract just means a recording. We're gonna listen to 3 recordings from an interview. And then we have to guess which of these 3 questions were asked. All right? So we're going to hear the answers to 3 of these questions, and we have to pick which question was asked. Okay, let's listen to this audio. Where are you? There we are.
4.4. 1.
Well, I've never really thought about it. I suppose I'd like to be married with kids, perhaps. My sister's got 3 kids and they're really great. I'd also like to be doing a job I enjoy. There's nothing worse than being stuck in a boring job where you have the same routine every day. It'd be a job with lots of responsibility, but I suppose not too much. I wouldn't want to get stressed. If I was lucky enough to get this job, it'd be great. But I suppose 5 years is a long time without a change, so I'd try to get a promotion if I could.
Okay, so that question obviously was about where do you see yourself in 5 years, all right? So that's question number 12. Okay, let's go on to the second.
2.
They'd say I was a great leader and an essential member of any team. They'd say my judgment was inspired and that I rarely make any mistakes.
3.
Well,
Okay, so question number 2, what question? So he was talking about himself, or how would your colleagues describe you? All right, so that was question number 7, how his coworkers would describe him. Okay, let's listen to the last one.
usually there needs to be a clear picture of what the aims of the project are, so it's essential to speak to everyone involved before taking any action. In my current job, we use project management software to help us keep track of what we have to do and when we have to do it. Of course, it's important that someone keeps an eye on whether people are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, and obviously you also need to deal with unexpected situations as they come up.
All right, so that audio, he talks about new projects, things he would do before starting the project, and if there were problems, what he would do to solve them, okay? So that is question number 10. How do you typically approach new projects? All right. So part G says match advice on how to answer questions 1 through 5, right, to the practical tips A through E. So number 1, it says be clear and explicit. Right? You probably don't know what the word explicit means. So when you're explicit, you want to say things clearly and in detail. Right? You don't want to have any confusion or any doubt. You don't want anything that's unsure. Right? You want it to be clear and detailed, is what explicit means. So be clear and explicit. The tips are, it says, the advice, do not assume interviewers know what your previous job involved, even if they work in the same organization. Right? It's also important not to use jargon or acronyms that interviewer might not be familiar with. Okay, so you want to be clear and you want to be detailed, and you want to avoid confusion. Right? Number 2, it says be audible. So audible, when someone, if you're audible, you speak to where people understand you, and you speak loudly and clearly. So here, the answer would be E. Right? Answers that can't be heard demonstrate poor interpersonal and communicative skills. All right? You want to make sure that you speak loud enough to where the person can hear you. Right? Number 3, be concise. All right, so when you're concise, this is maybe another word you don't know the definition of. When you're concise, is you give a lot of information, but in a very few words, right? So you want to give a short explanation of something, but you want it to be understandable. You want to be clear, but you want to be brief. Right? You don't want a long answer. Right? Short, clear, brief, effective answer. That's what concise means. So concise, to be concise here, probably be D. Don't talk for too long or drift away from the point. Be alert to any signs from the interviewer of boredom, loss of concentration, or signals that you're talking too much. All right? However, also ensure that you say enough. All right? Short but effective. All right? 4, be truthful. All right? The advice is B. Most lies or exaggerations get discovered and suggest bad judgment on your part. All right? Don't lie during your job interview. Don't lie and say you did things that you didn't do. All right? And number 5, focus on action you have taken. All right? So that's A. If you personally did something, say I did, rather than we did or it was. Don't say that. If you did it, if that's something that you worked hard to do, you want to make sure that the person interviewing you knows that you did that. All right? It was your achievement, your success, not other people's. All right. I'm going to end it there for this video. The most important things to remember are these interview questions. There's many common ones that are asked, and the 10 most common interview questions, and that we do have to practice these to get better. What else? This slide, remember, be clear, be concise, all right, be explicit. All right, you want to go into detail. You don't want to confuse the interviewer, but at the same time, you don't want to talk too much, right? And be truthful. You have to be truthful, and then you have to be understood. You have to speak in a way that people understand you. Okay, that's it for this video. Next video, I'm going to talk about how we can improve our answers to these interview questions. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.